I am new to the whole world of video gaming, still learning and mind blown at how big some of these open world games are. There's a video game called Genshin Impact, and it is, from what I understand, a fantasy open world game. And Krai is the autonomous region in the Genshin Impact universe that is this hub for people that is a dangerous and lawless territory with its own unique elemental power. I had to Google all this because I have no idea. But our amazing Aurora performed that Nordkai main theme live. I have a feeling this is going to be amazing. How magical is this going to be? Have you heard it? Are you a Genshin Impact fan? What do I need to know? Bring me into your world and help me understand. That's what we're all about. World music, mental health, psychology, philosophy, magic. I'm rewinding. What language is she singing in? Oh, wow. Notkai does not refer to a real world language, but rather to a region in the video game, Genshin Impact, that is heavily inspired by the cultures and languages of the Baltic Sea region, including areas influenced by Poland, Finland, and other neighboring states. Oh my gosh. It resembles the Tevat script and is not a real world language. Oh, I have goosebumps. That ring is perfect, that Celtic feeling, vibe. my gosh. Oh my gosh. Y'all can play that when it's my time to pass on. Ah! Oh my gosh. That was beautiful. Oh my gosh. Play that when I die. That, and I got so many songs. You're going to have to just hang out for God knows how long listening to music. When I hear stuff like this, it's hard for me to not picture that there's something more. This life is so magical. Creation, this world, life is just so magical. And music makes me feel that. Music is just so therapeutic. It can just soothe, it can restore, it can be cathartic. But it's crazy because there's music like this, especially when an entire orchestra plays. And you have all these elements, these symphonies, just every aspect that taps into, I feel like, a different part of my body. It's crazy. It's almost like I feel my blood flowing more, or I can tap into just the way everything's woven together in my physical system, in my soma. And then at the same time, emotionally, it's just this flood of emotions from joy and bliss and peace. Psychologically, just activating so many parts of the brain. It's almost like I can feel the things that are happening in my body. And it's so therapeutic, you guys. Like, it blows my mind how music, strings with the staccato and the drama that strings bring in, that weave like a red thread, like water flowing, like the rivers of this earth. The way that the percussion instruments and the drums come in, like rolling thunder and rolling waves, like solid earth that's just below our feet, like majestic trees that are deeply rooted in the ground and communicating with each other through networks. The flute, gentle like the wind, like flowers that are popping up, like birds that fly freely. It's just this reminder that everything's connected. And where video games are fascinating to people because they allow us to tap into something that I think we all long for, which is limitlessness, eternity. In the face of death anxieties, I think many people long for things to not be so transient, for things to be forever. And in a video game, when you die, you get to come back, you get to reset. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit, but you get to come back. And I think sometimes in a lot of video games, maybe it taps into that part of us that longs to be eternal, that longs to have a fresh start, a second chance. That part of our humanity that longs for second chances in regards to forgiveness, right? Oh, we got something wrong. We didn't master the level, but now we can try again. There's something about the music and the visuals that pull people in because it allows you to envision a fantasy world that you may not have in reality. And that taps into that sense and longing for freedom that we have when we look at existential theory, our longing for, as we balance freedom and responsibility, we long for freedom to fully express ourselves, to be and do whatever we wish. And in video games, you can often do that to a degree. That longing for relationship, you can connect with other people, other creatures, be it AI, be it the computer, or actual people on the other side of the planet that love what you love and are playing the same game that you're playing or on the same mission with you. We're all in this world fellow travelers. And there's a big longing, I think, for people to feel that connection, which is why I think a lot of people love reaction videos, because we can enjoy the same music. We can feel things together. It feels less alone. So many reasons that both music and video games and fantasy are so profound psychologically and tap into deep parts of our human beingness. But this music, it was so beautiful. The entire symphony orchestra, the London Symphony Orchestra was playing here, and the London Voices Choir, the staccato and the melodies of this choir, the way that they sang with such precision and pitch perfection, the way that they tapped into harmonies, into working together, flowing together with such elegance and beauty. It was beautiful. And then Aurora, our angel fairy, it's crazy because I think there too, psychologically speaking, you guys know that's often what we look at things through. I think we have a longing for something to be better than us. That's why a lot of people are drawn to religion and to God. The hope that there's something beyond us, something that can handle my humanity, that can love me unconditionally, that can give me eternity, that can give me peace, something that can be better and stronger and bigger and more loving and more beautiful and pure than the things we see in humanity a lot of times. And in that desire for something to be beautiful, and where people long for God or they look to religion and prophets and angels, in the same sense, I think perhaps that's one of the reasons we're also drawn to things like fairies and elves and magical creatures, because it's something that is bigger than, greater than, purer than, that is magical, that is supernatural, something that goes beyond just human comprehension and humanity. And I would argue humans are very magical, actually. But, when you see brokenness and you see death and you see mistakes and people being people, I think there's this draw to the thing that is beautiful above all and pure above all and righteous and holy and glorious. And I know Aurora is a human, but when I see her in these performances, the way she looked at the camera, just staring straight into her eyes, and you learn about this person through interviews and their music and the way that she creates art and the way she puts herself into these songs. There's something about her that is just so magical and mystical. She really is like this real life elf, this real life fairy. And that's not to idolize her, but because I think we all are more divine than we realize. We all are so much more children of God and divine and magical than we realize. And quite frankly, if we started accepting and loving ourselves and one another, the world would look quite different, in my opinion. But she just personifies that beauty and that magical elfness. She was the perfect person to have on this. I love the Celtic influences. I love the honoring these different cultures and traditions that both is happening through the Genshin Impact video game. I'm finding out, but also the way that they brought Aurora into this. She was just the perfect person to play for this. Like the video game came to life. I could see that being so special to people who are fans of Genshin Impact and the various characters, because it feels like the video game is coming to life. And what is already perhaps consuming some people in their day-to-day life as they game and as they're part of that world, you now have this live performance that makes it even more real and pulls you in and makes the fantasy and the the fantasy become reality. And I think that that's very magical in and of itself. Absolutely beautiful. The lyrics, so beautiful. Speaking of light and moon. And I had to start crying when it spoke of comfort, when it was speaking of, hey, why are you weeping? Why do you mourn? The moon illuminate one more time like a white dove soaring through the night, washing away the evil. Isn't that what we all long for evil to be washed away, for there to be peace and love and justice? We beseech you, rise, new moon, pure and unblemished. I cast off suffering, and for all living things, wipe away their tears. That idea of just an angel, maybe Aurora is an angel, I don't know. This angel, and then her beautiful dress and the eyes everywhere, so mystical. But this idea of saying, wipe away the tears. There's a longing in humanity for there to be a place where all tears can be wiped off. The choir, the ladies dressed beautifully in garments and dresses that I feel are also honoring the Celtic influences, Finland, Poland, various traditions. The poetic language of the frigid air and powerlessness and mistress and a devastated homeland, like very poetic. The use of the combination between the stringed instruments, the violin, the wind instruments, as well as the older instruments. What all did we have here? Did we have a hurdy-gurdy here? Various ancient instruments that are just so beautiful that they're bringing the flutes in, the hurdy-gurdy, I think, the harp, many instruments that are ancient and old, and also a beautiful nod to history. The crescendo of this whole composition, it was all just a masterpiece from start to finish. I am absolutely in love with this. What are your thoughts on this? Subscribe for more music from around the world as we talk about philosophy and psychology, as we appreciate music. Subscribe, let me know, comment below, what does this song mean to you? And I'll see you on the next ride. Heyo!